The United States of America is without a doubt a major melting pot country with people of all kinds of backgrounds from all over the world, with diversity in language, ethnicity, and culture abroad. In an international hub like the United States, you often see that a country hosts extremely large chunks of different nationalities outside of the origin country, especially when it comes to the countries of the Americas. Let's state an example to further explain what I mean. As of 2020, it is estimated that there are just under 19 million Guatemalans in the world, with roughly 17.2 million within Guatemala itself, and a whopping 1.4 million within the United States alone. That's nearly 8% of the world's Guatemalans living within the United States. Well, here's another country that will blow your mind. The country of Belize has around 408,000 people within their country, with around 357,000 of them being ethnically Belizean, and there is an estimated 665,000 Belizeans in the world. So how many Belizeans are in the United States? 300,000, meaning that 45% of the world's Belizeans are within the United States. Well, if the United States holds such an enormous amount of the Belizean population, then that should show you that there's some level of closeness between the United States and Belize. And we will go over that in today's video of the US Relations series, in which we'll go over the relationship between the United States of America and the Central American country of Belize. Even though Belize did not gain independence from the British until 1981, the country still had very close ties to that of the United States. This was intended by Belize to embarrass the British in an attempt to cut off British colonial ties and unjust pro-British economic policies that were detrimental to that of the Belizean population.
Hello, my little baby Belize. You're gonna grow up and buy a lot of British goods someday, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I f***ing hate you.
Since Belize's independence, it has had quite an unusual stance towards that of the United States. During the time period of their independence, Latin America was overall politically divided due to the ongoing Cold War, where many of the countries were allied or leaning to the pro-USSR and Cuban side of the aisle. Other countries are still allied with the United States, but overall had a low approval rating towards that of the superpower due to its flexing of its global imperialism.
Okay, we are live. Let's first start off with a breaking question regarding the United States. In the current state of the Cold War, what's your view towards that of the United States' actions and its efforts to combat communism?
The United States has been shown to project violent and uncalculated actions in order to preserve its influence and power. Many innocents have suffered at the hands of their imperialism, and I just cannot frankly stand behind these reckless behaviors at all.
Well, news has it that the United States is creating a hemispheric defense doctrine called the Inter-American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance, and rumor has it that they are wanting you to join, therefore giving you a mutual defense pact with them.
You serious right now?
Yes, Brazil and Colombia have already announced support for such.
Well, if Brazil is in, well, count me in too, homeboy. I gotta call my mom. Mom, call the US. We're allies now, Mom.
Well, unlike most countries within Central America, Belize was in a very unique position. During the Cold War, Belize was part of the non-aligned movement, which kept it on good terms with countries on both sides of the divide and prevented the country from entering any armed conflicts throughout this time period. Concurrently, Belize was working on leaving behind its colonial roots and focusing on progressing in the world economy. Right off the bat of independence, Belize established close ties with that of the United States due to their anti-colonialism stances and in attempts to shelter themselves from a possible British counteraction. With the British being the primary threat to Belize, the Central American country was not focused nor cared about the current Cold War conflict, while having balanced ties with both the United States and the Soviet Union. But with Belize's past influential figures and democratic Christian policies, they of course had a much closer relationship to that of the United States than most of its other neighboring countries. So Belize has managed to maintain a very healthy position on the world stage throughout the Cold War, staying out of foreign conflicts while having very tight relations with the United States. So now let's move on from the Cold War period and discuss where mutual military cooperation with the United States does exist. Unfortunately, Belize is a decent-sized hot point for drug and narcotics trafficking throughout Central America and the United States. This makes U.S. military assistance to Belize essentially unavoidable. Throughout the two's relationship, they have cooperated on numerous military operations against narcotic traffickers and drug cartels. The United States is also the largest military provider to that of Belize, with half of Belize's entire air force coming directly from the United States. Economic ties are also strong between the two countries. The U.S. is Belize's largest trading partner, with the two exchanging roughly $470 million worth of goods on a yearly basis. The United States also sends plenty of economic assistance to Belize and heavily invests within Belize's tourism sector. As of this video's upload, the two countries have had bilateral relations for 39 years, and the two have embassies within each other's capital cities. So, where do we see their relationship heading in the future? Well, even with Belize holding international neutrality, it has grown to be quite fond of the United States, and healthy relations are likely to stay in the upcoming future. Thank you guys for watching today's episode of the U.S. Relations series. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions for us. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Powerful Countries, where we upload many maps, charts, and bios on the world's nations and their militaries. And stay tuned for our next video, which will go over the relationship between that of the United States and the African country of Benin. See you guys soon.